So Fisher House, it's been a big part of a lot of injured soldiers' lives.
It's so world class, the treatment that you get there. It really puts Birmingham on the map, I think.
Yeah, I was over the road in Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I was getting the news every day that something else had happened or something else had gone wrong, but to come here to have a break from all that meant such the world to not just me but the family as well.
If it wasn't for the staff here, a lot of the guys and girls wouldn't be where they are now. They wouldn't have recovered. So I think it's going to be great that people realise what a fabulous facility they have here.
To have the Duke come visit Fisher House, I think it's really important. A lot goes on behind the scenes that people don't realise, but it's so beneficial to the people who use these services.
I'm looking forward to Birmingham getting all behind it because it's a massive thing.
It's great to see servicemen and women coming together and competing, but also the camaraderie between ourselves and every other nation that are going through the same kind of thing. So it's going to be a good spectacle to see.
Anybody who's had to come through the doors of the QE knows how important Birmingham is. So I think having the games here in Birmingham is going to be so special to a lot of people who's going to take part, because essentially I think it's going to be like they're coming home.
While the British tabloids are sitting in their studios losing their minds over palace seating charts and fake drama, Prince Harry just touched down at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Birmingham and Fisher House, and he completely reminded everyone why he operates on a totally different level. He didn't show up to pose for stiff, dead-eyed portraits. He showed up for the real ones. The highlight of the whole day was this incredible, heavy-hitting medical reunion. Harry stood there and witnessed an unbelievably emotional moment between Josh Boggy, a British Army veteran and triple amputee, and squadron leader Lauren Odell, the actual military nurse who saved his life on the battlefield. Think about the contrast. The media's busy crying over hurt feelings in palaces, while Harry is out here highlighting the actual people who survived the trenches and the heroes who kept them alive. It's pure emotion, zero fake PR. Next, Harry took a walk through Fisher House UK. This is a specialised home away from home right on the hospital ground that helps military families stay close to their loved ones during intensive care without worrying about money. Fun fact, King Charles actually opened the place back in 2013, but Harry is the one on the ground keeping the energy alive and making sure these families feel seen. Harry chopped it up with the families staying there and dropped a beautiful truth bomb. He said, "Places like this remind us that recovery is never something anyone does alone." He gave major props to the medical staff, the carers, and the charities holding it down. Regular people look at this and see a man who actually understands human burden. He knows that when a soldier is hurt, the whole family bleeds. He's using his massive global spotlight to say, hey, let's look at the financial stress these families face and let's actually fix it. He isn't talking down to people from a gold throne. He's walking the hallways, sitting on the couches and listening to real human stories. To wrap it all up, this visit was a major milestone for the countdown to the Invictus Games 2027 in Birmingham. Harry spent hours speaking directly with injured, wounded and sick service personnel who are currently in the thick of their recovery. He didn't just thank the hospital staff for fixing broken bones. He praised them for doing the heavy lifting, going way beyond physical injuries to help these veterans rebuild their minds and get their confidence back. Let's keep it 100. This is exactly why the establishment is terrified of him. You can't fake this kind of connection. Harry walks into a room of wounded soldiers and there is instant respect because he's one of them. He served, he gets it, and he's built an entire global movement with Invictus to make sure these heroes are never forgotten. While the rest of the royal family is stuck cutting ribbons at grocery stores and trying to look relevant, Harry is out here changing lives, restoring hope, and proving that real royalty is about impact, not a crown. Let's drop the ultimate truth bomb about this hospital visit. The UK media loves to put on their little spectacles, grab their clipboards and analyse whether Harry's visits count as an official royal engagement. They want to break down the protocols, check the dress codes and see if it fits into their tidy little establishment boxes. This wasn't some stiff, forced royal engagement. This was a straight-up homecoming. Harry didn't need a golden invitation or a palace script to walk into Queen Elizabeth Hospital. He was returning to the exact place that has been at the absolute heart of his own life's work. This is the exact hospital that took care of the wounded soldiers he served with. This is the very foundation where the seeds for the Invictus Games were planted over a decade ago. He isn't some visiting dignitary pretending to care for 20 minutes before hopping back into a limousine. He's a brother in arms returning to his people. We can spot the difference from a mile away. When the rest of the firm goes on an engagement, it looks like a corporate team building exercise. Lots of fake smiling, polite nodding, and hands clasped in front of them. But when Harry walks into a room of veterans, the whole vibe flips. There are real hugs, genuine laughs, and zero pretenses. He isn't there to clock into a royal shift. He's there because these are his people and this is his lane. The palace can pull all the petty bureaucratic moves they want, withdrawing accommodation, playing games with security, and trying to act like he's an outsider. But you can't exile a man from a community he literally helped heal. Harry didn't show up in Birmingham to prove his royal status. He showed up to do the work. And that is exactly why this wasn't an official duty. It was a captain returning to his crew. And no palace press release can ever strip that away from him.
Let's talk about the absolute elephant in the room that the media always tries to ignore. The talking heads love to sit on TV and act like Harry is just using veterans as a photo op. They want you to believe this is all just clever branding. But let's keep it a buck. Harry understands military life because the man actually lived it. He didn't just put on a shiny, unearned honorary uniform to look important at parades. He went through the mud. He completed officer training at Sandhurst, spent 10 years in the British Army, and deployed to Afghanistan twice. He was literally operating in Helmand Province and flying Apache helicopters. He wasn't sitting in a bunker drinking tea. He was on active service, risking his neck, just like every other soldier out there. Regular people can smell the difference between a corporate boss and a leader who was actually on the shop floor. When Harry walks into a room of wounded, injured, or sick service personnel, there is an instant shift in the atmosphere. There's no awkwardness, there's no stiff protocol. Why? Because the veterans know he isn't a tourist visiting their world. He speaks the language. He knows the dark humor, he knows the struggle, and he knows exactly what it feels like to leave a piece of yourself on the battlefield. That is exactly why an organization like Invictus works so perfectly. It isn't built on palace committees or public relations nonsense. It's built on real brotherhood and shared sacrifice. The royal establishment can try to strip away his honorary titles and lock him out of official military events all they want, but they can never strip away his service, his combat record, or the absolute respect he commands from the global military community. Harry earned his stripes on the ground, not in a palace boardroom, and that is why his impact is completely untouchable. Let's be completely honest about how the media handles charity work in the UK. When a working royal turns up to open a library or nod at a vegetable patch, it's all over the front pages. The tabloids will write endless paragraphs praising their incredible dedication to public service. But a place like Fisher House UK, an actual lifeline that does the heavy lifting for families in absolute crisis, the media barely gives it a mention unless they can use it as a backdrop for palace gossip. It is a total joke, and Fisher House deserves far more recognition than it gets. Let's look at what this place actually does on a street level. When a soldier gets flown into Birmingham Airport with life-changing injuries, their family has to scramble. They are travelling from all over the country, sometimes from overseas, completely stressed out. They are looking at massive hotel bills, parking fees, and petrol costs while trying to be there for their loved one. Fisher House steps in and says, "We got you." They provide a beautiful 18-bedroom sanctuary completely free of charge, just a 5-minute walk from the hospital wards. Regular people get this instantly. This isn't about high society charity galas where people in tuxedos bid on expensive paintings. This is real-world empathy. It's about making sure a mum, a wife, or a kid has a safe bed to sleep in, a kitchen to cook a meal, and a quiet space to breathe while their soldier is fighting for their life down the hallway. The media loves to hype up empty symbolism, but places like Fisher House are where the real magic happens. It's entirely funded by donations, costing about £50 a night to host a family in their darkest hour. Harry going there and putting his massive global spotlight directly on this facility is exactly what leadership looks like. He isn't trying to farm good PR for a crown. He's demanding the world pay attention to a place that actually keeps families whole when they are on the brink of breaking. It's time the press stopped obsessing over palace drama and started giving organisations like Fisher House the massive respect they actually deserve. Let's wrap this up by looking at where the true magic happens. When a high-profile figure walks through a hospital, the media loves to frame it like a one-man show. They want you to think the building only lit up because a prince stepped into the hallway. But if you listen to Harry himself, he completely flips that script. He's the first one to tell you that the real heavy lifters aren't the people visiting for the day, and they definitely aren't the royals sitting on distant thrones. The real champions are the medical professionals, the nurses, the carers, and the charity workers holding down the fort behind those hospital doors every single day. The NHS is under massive pressure, the hours are brutal, and these hospital workers are out here pulling miracle shifts on the daily. They aren't doing it for media applause or royal titles, they're doing it because they actually give a damn about saving human lives. Harry's entire vibe during this visit was about pulling the spotlight off himself and shining it directly on them. He basically told the world, look at these legends, they are the ones doing the actual work. That is the difference between a real leader and a corporate mascot. Harry doesn't need to hog the glory, he uses his global platform to amplify the people in scrubs who actually keep the community breathing. It's pure class, it's real human insight, and it shows you exactly why his connection to these places is totally unshakable. That is a wrap for today's video. Let me know down in the comments, smack that like button, hit subscribe so you never miss an update, and let's keep backing the people who actually do the work. Thank you all for watching, I am your host Miles, and I will catch you legends in the next video. Peace.